This video is sponsored by DraftKings. Listen up, football fans. It's time to get all of your football bets in. I've teamed up with DraftKings, and right now is the perfect time to take your shot at the crown. DraftKings is giving all new customers $200 in bonus bets instantly when they place their first $5 bet on anything. There is no time like the present to download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and sign up using my promo code CavsBurner. The crown is yours. And that's right. You heard me correctly. New customers who bet just $5 will get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Wondering what you could use your $200 in bonus bets on? Combine multiple bets together from Super Bowl 58 for a shot at an even bigger payout. If you've already signed up for DraftKings like me, you can make a bet on Super Bowl 58 and get a bonus bet back. Get a bonus bet back in the amount of your initial wager. Max rewards vary. If sports betting is not available in your state, don't worry. You can still join in on all the funds with DraftKings Daily Fantasy and have a shot at winning cash prizes. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use my promo code CavsBurner, bet just $5 on any wager, and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code CavsBurner only at DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. You know, one thing about the Cavs this year is that it seems like at every step and turn, there's been some key player to this team or to this roster that the fans have been speculating should be traded or will be traded, or what if they could be traded. And I saw this clip while I was online from shout out to Emmett Golden, eGoldie80. He's a GOAT, especially in the Cleveland scene. He's been doing it for a very long time. Him and his co-host were going at it about this topic, and I think it really did a great job of describing where Cavs fans are with this team and why it's at such a complex place right now.
Beginning of the year, everybody said get Mitchell out of here. Now everybody is saying you got to trade Darius Garland. Or maybe we could trade Evan Mobley. He was runner-up a Defensive Player of the Year. Why are we trying to trade one of our best players? And it's been different guys each time.
We saw a playoff failure last year. We saw a first-round exit where you only won one game, and then it carried over into this year, into the slow start when you had all those guys there. Then all of a sudden, Evan Mobley went down. Darius Garland went down. All of a sudden, you became the best defensive team in the NBA. All of a sudden, you became a top 7 offensive team in the NBA. You became one of the best three-point shooting teams in the NBA. I'm not subscribing to the notion, but I think it's pretty easy to figure out why somebody is saying trade Darius Garland or trade Evan Mobley, because we've seen the best version of the Cavs this year without those guys on the court.
All right, so shout out to the next level. Shout out to eGoldie80. Shout out to his co-host. But that was a really good job of kind of explaining what the issue is, because it goes even before Donovan Mitchell. Right after the Knicks series, we were all talking about how Jared Allen needs to go, right? The team's not big enough. You can't have him and Evan Mobley on the floor at the same time because they're small, all of this. And Jared Allen needs to go. He's not worth it. Okay. Then as the offseason progressed, people start to get worried about if Donovan Mitchell wants to stay here, right? There's all these reports and rumors that Donovan doesn't want to stay here long term, and that maybe the Cavs should move on from Donovan Mitchell to make sure that they get something from him. So now we're talking about trading Donovan Mitchell. Okay. Then I think Don gets hurt. And it was awkward between him and Darius Garland at the beginning of this season, right? Like they just weren't playing well together for whatever reason. All of this stuff just wasn't going right. And then DG and Evan Mobley get hurt. We think the season's over. And then Donovan Mitchell starts playing well, which has us asking, well, do we actually have to get rid of Darius Garland or Evan Mobley? It's always a catch-22 in sports when your team has success with key players out, because sometimes when that happens, instead of taking it for what it is, people in charge take it as a sign that they need to do something drastic. And sometimes it's true, sometimes it's not. But this has happened with a lot of teams in a lot of different ways, where a key player goes out, they figure out something while that player's out, then you have to reintegrate that player, so things get a little shaky, people start to get impatient, and that's how you lose key players down the line. I would not be in such a rush to deem the Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell experiment a failure. I do think what we learn when Donovan Mitchell is out, or when Darius Garland is out, right? Because remember, when Donovan Mitchell was out, Darius Garland was balling. We was like, we're not getting the most out of Donovan Mitchell when Darius Garland's on the floor. And look, I think these things show some problems. You do have some roster awkwardness on this team. Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, that's not a long-term fit. Especially when you have Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland. There are some moves that will need to be made eventually for this Cavs team. I also think at the same time that there's absolutely, positively zero reason to be in a rush right now if you're the Cavs in trading one of these guys. I really don't think there's a rush. I know that people are obsessed with getting value back for the Donovan Mitchell trade. But I'm going to be honest with you. If Donovan Mitchell doesn't come back this summer, the Cavs got fair value for that trade. This is not like football, where if you trade that many first-round picks, you better win a Super Bowl. The Cavs traded what are essentially going to be like late non-lottery picks because they're going to make the playoffs. They're going to continue to make the playoffs. Those picks mean nothing, virtually. Like, yeah, every once in a while you luck into a Kawhi Leonard or you get a Jokic in the second round. Like, I'm not here to argue that outliers exist, but more than likely you weren't getting game changers with those picks. And since the step-in rule is not like you don't have picks for the next 5 years. You just have to do it every other year, right? Because you can't trade consecutive picks anymore. So I'm not really obsessed with trying to get another team's lottery picks. Well, not lottery picks. You're not getting a lottery pick right now. Like trying to get some other team's picks in order to recoup some value on Donovan Mitchell, especially when it's obvious that would make the team worse. Because Donovan Mitchell, despite, where we've been with him all year, he's clearly the best player, most capable player on this Cavs roster. And they're winning right now. But also, there are times where you watch the Cavs, even though they're winning and they're beating these teams, where you think to yourself, man, they could use another scorer. Or, man, they could use another defender. Now, they've been a very top team throughout the last few weeks. They've gotten hot. They've been shooting the ball well. I don't think that Darius Garland and Evan Mobley are going to prevent that from happening. I don't think they're going to be cancers to the team or to the locker room, and I think that's what sometimes people are suggesting when they say that you need to trade one or both of those guys. But I do think that the roster in total, it just doesn't make a ton of sense long term. Talking about 5-6 years down the line. Like for the next 5 years, I don't think you could roll out here with Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, Jared Allen, and Evan Mobley. I think you will probably have to move on from Jared Allen in a few years. I think, but you want to do it when it makes sense, when you have the right piece to put next to Evan Mobley. But if you don't have that, you shouldn't just trade him to trade him. The same thing goes for Donovan Mitchell. Hey, look, as of right now, Donovan Mitchell's the best thing you could put next to Darius Garland right now that's available. If something becomes available, like let's say, for example, if the New Orleans Pelicans were willing to give you a package that included Brandon Ingram, okay, I would do that because that makes sense. That's a better fit. That makes sense. But if it's anything less than that, you really shouldn't be in a rush to get rid of Donovan Mitchell. Like if I'm the Cavs, I play the chances on this, right? I know that people are saying he doesn't want to come back to Cleveland or whatever it is, but his options this offseason aren't going to be that glamorous if he wants to leave Cleveland. We all know he said he wants to play in New York, but the Knicks, they're not looking like they're going to be able to go after Donovan Mitchell or that they're even interested in going after Donovan Mitchell. I've said that for a couple of years. The Celtics, similar ordeal there. So if those were his two options, that's not looking like it's great there. So what, his only option is the Brooklyn Nets? I don't know, man. I feel like the Cavs can win that battle against the Brooklyn Nets. I really do. I know it's New York and he's from New York, but I also think that he cares about basketball more than anything when it comes to making those decisions because he's always been a basketball-oriented guy. And if you have the best basketball situation for Donovan Mitchell, you're probably going to have a good chance in retaining Donovan Mitchell. I don't think it's that complicated. I think we add all these other things onto it, but who has the better basketball situation right now for Donovan Mitchell? Who has a better slot for him to slide into? I think the answer is obvious. Donovan Mitchell's a competitor. He wants to win. He wants to clear his name off this playoff stuff the last few years. And the best chance for him to do that is in Cleveland. You know, I wouldn't just give up on the ideal of being able to keep him. Now, again, that fit with him and Darius Garland, it's not optimal, right? We've seen how far teams can go when their two best players are smaller guards. It's not very far, right? The only teams in recent memory that's been able to win a championship like that is what? Isaiah Thomas back in the day? Like, that's it. It's really it. Doesn't happen very often. Maybe you could say Steph Curry, but we all know that the Golden State Warriors are extenuating circumstance. And no disrespect to Darius Garland or Donovan Mitchell, they're not Steph Curry. And that's not even disrespectful. Steph Curry's a top player all time. Like, they're just not that. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Cavs move during the trade deadline. But let me know what you think. Do you think the Cavs need to move off one of their pieces? Do you think that there are trades that make sense for the Cavs to go after? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Y'all have a great day. Have an even better night. Peace.